Now this feature right here is gonna blow your mind. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Astro C40 and why so many people lately, especially pro players, are switching to it. So I'm gonna start off by going over the features of this controller, and then I'm gonna be diving into the software and showing you all the customization options that are available. And then lastly, jumping to Fortnite and having the software up live, adjusting it so you can see what it does, and giving you my opinion on it, on whether you should buy it. But just before the video starts, if we could aim for 50,000 likes, that'd be awesome. As well as using code Flea in the item shop actually doubles your edit speed. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Nah, but anyway, let's get right into the video. Alright, and here we are with the Astro C40. So this video isn't going to be an unboxing and review of this controller. I'm also going to be diving deep into the features and software to find out the real reason why so many pro players are switching to this controller. So first off, let me just quickly unbox it. So it does come in actually really good quality packaging, and the controller is actually inside this Astro case here. So if I just open up this carrying case, inside, we have the Astro C40 controller. So straight out the box, the main features you probably are aware of this controller is that you can change the analog stick and D-pad positions. This is one super unique feature about this controller. Although it's a really good marketing strategy, it's pretty useless once you get it, because whether you prefer the left analog stick here or maybe up here, once you've gotten the controller and set that, it's most likely going to stay like that forever, which makes it a cool feature for like 5 minutes. As well as another cool feature about this controller is that it actually comes with spare analog sticks, so 3 concave and 3 convex. As you can see, I actually already have the extended stick on the right side, which means if I go ahead and place a low-rise Galaxy on top of that, it'll be the perfect height for what it would be normally like with a Control Freak. So me personally, this is what I would do if I was using the controller, because Control Freaks just have a lot better grip than the stock analog sticks. These analog sticks can also come off quite easily if you do want to change them out. If let's say I maybe prefer a domed analog stick, I can put that on as well. But me personally, I do prefer the concave thumbstick, so I'm just going to put that on instead. But another big feature of this controller is actually the paddles on the back. In my personal opinion, I do prefer 2 paddles, and I recommend 2 paddles to most people. 4 paddles is a bit overkill, but if you are going for a 2 paddle controller, these are probably the best 2 paddles I've ever seen on a controller. Just the sheer size of the paddles is so big that no matter where your finger sits at the bottom, it's definitely going to be able to press the buttons a lot easier. This obviously once again just comes down to personal preference, but in my opinion, the paddle placements and the size of them is really good. As for the triggers on this controller, now it does have really easy to activate trigger stoppers. So if I just flick these down, these are what the normal triggers are, so they do go all the way in, but just with the flick of a button on both sides, you can actually change the trigger stoppers to only go in about 40%. This is an extremely useful feature in the game like Fortnite if you do want to play with trigger stoppers, but then all of a sudden you get into a vehicle and you do need that full trigger throttle in order to drive the vehicle faster. You can definitely just turn it off on the fly. It's a great feature and I'm a big fan of this. And yeah, that's about it for features on this controller. I am going to get into the software right now. As far as all the buttons, they do feel really good. The Astro C40 is just an all-round great controller with a real solid build quality. Alright, now it's time to jump into Fortnite, show you this software, and honestly, some of these things are going to blow your mind. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are all set up, ready to go on the Astro controller. Now, I'm just going to jump right into creative because I have some really cool things I want to show you in the software. We're going to go over all of it, so let's do it. Alright, so here we are in creative. I do have the Astro C40 software up on screen. Now, do keep in mind, I am on PC, so I can actually customize the software while playing Fortnite. But if you are actually using this controller on console, you have to customize it on PC and then take it to console. So it is still customizable on console, you just can't do it while you're playing Fortnite. But yeah, here we are. So we are on the software. So normally it comes up with this screen and you can choose between profile 1 and profile 2. You can actually change between these profiles with this button here. So if all of a sudden I want to change to profile 2, I can have a whole different customization on a different profile, which in my opinion is something that's pretty cool, but not something I'd use. But maybe you play 2 different games like Call of Duty and Fortnite and you want 2 different profiles, you can instantly switch between them just with the flick of a button. So yeah, let's start off by going into profile 1, and the first screen you come across is the remapping screen. So on this screen, basically you can remap any button on the controller to any other button you want to, including the paddles. The only buttons you can't customize is the PS button, the share button, the settings, and the touchpad. In fact, the touchpad doesn't even work at all on Fortnite in PC, it only works on console. I'll talk about why that is later on in the video. So yeah, on this screen, basically I can customize my paddle. So my left paddle is currently circle and my right paddle is currently X. If I would like to change those, all I need to do is press this and it does give me the options of what I can change it to. So if I want to change my paddle to, let's say, L1, change my right paddle to, let's say, R1, I've already done it, and then all I have to do is go up to the top where it says sync controller. I press sync, and now in Fortnite those buttons will work as L1 and R1. So let's quickly jump on Fortnite to see if it worked. Now if I just pull out my builds, I can flip the controller over, and as you can see, left paddle will do pyramids, right paddle will do floors. So I've successfully mapped those paddles to L1 and R1. This is probably a big reason why so many pro players use this software, is because you can just have it up right next to you if you're on PC and literally customize it in seconds and try it out straight away on Fortnite. But that is nowhere near the best part of this controller. So the next category coming down is sticks. So this is where we can customize the sensitivity for the analog sticks. Now this feature right here is definitely a game changer. So as you can see, we have the sensitivities here, left stick and right stick. Now me personally, I play linear on Fortnite, and as you can see, these lines are linear, but if you want to, you can actually play exponential and linear at the same time. So as you can see here, if I just drag these up and down, I can actually create an exponential curve on my linear setting just by adjusting these dots, and this will actually dramatically change your sensitivity on Fortnite when you try it. So I'm just going to jump on Fortnite right now, and you'll be able to see that all of a sudden my analog stick is so much slower. It's like I'm on exponential, but I'm not even on exponential. As you can see there, I've customized the sensitivity, and as I move this stick, it's showing me what sensitivity it's going through. And this is probably a big reason why so many pro players are switching to the Astro C40, just because of this sensitivity option. I can literally tweak both analog stick sensitivities up or down. So as you can see, now all my sensitivities are on absolute maximum. I am getting stick drift, but now everything's on 100%. So if I try this in game, yeah, this is unplayable. Look how fast and responsive this is. This is just so fast, but that's how easy it is to customize the sensitivities to perfection with this software. So that was the customization with the analog sticks, but if you thought that was cool, this next one is even cooler. So this next tab coming down, we have triggers. Now this is where it's pretty cool. So as you know, I do have trigger stoppers activated. So if I just turn off those trigger stoppers, you can see the triggers go all the way in when I press them. So you can actually see them go all the way up. But all of a sudden, if I just flick the trigger stoppers up, now the triggers will stop at about 40%. But here's the really cool thing. So check this out. So as you can see on screen, as soon as I press R2, obviously my player is going to hit. But how far I push that trigger in, I think is almost about 7 to 10% before it actually activates. You can actually shorten that with the Astro. So I can actually jump into the Astro software and raise this all the way up. So I want it to activate as quick as possible. I want my walls and I want my stairs to place a lot faster. So I'm just going to slam these all the way up to the top. And what this is going to allow me to do is it's going to allow that trigger to actually activate quicker than what it normally would. So like I said, most triggers activate at about 7 to 10% when you push them in. But what this is going to do is it's going to allow to activate instantly. So now as you can see, everything's on 100%. And now basically as soon as I touch that trigger, it's going to activate. Like look at that now. Like I'm barely even pressing it and it activates instantly. This is a game changer. If you're someone who does have this controller, do that right now. Put your trigger sensitivities all the way up to 100% and your walls and floors are just gonna place so much quicker. It's basically the same thing as the hair triggers on the Xbox Elite. I'm pretty sure the Xbox Elite software allows you to do the same thing, but basically it goes to 0 to 100% instantly. So I only have to just touch that trigger and it's gonna place a wall. So yeah, I'd say the analog stick settings and the trigger settings are probably the most important, as well as mapping the back paddles. Apart from that, you just have audio settings where if you do plug your headset into your controller, you can change some audio settings, as well as you can turn on and off the vibration and change the intensity. But yeah, so the last thing I do want to talk about is the touchpad. Now, for those of you that don't know, I actually use touchpad to edit, and as you can see, I'm pressing the touchpad right now and it's doing nothing. That's the same with the Razer Raju and the Nikon. All their touchpads don't work on PC. And to sum it all up, the reason they don't work is basically Windows detects these controllers as an Xbox 360 controller, and as a lot of you know, the Xbox 360 controller doesn't have a touchpad, so it just deems it as not a button, and you won't actually be able to touchpad edit with this controller. If someone watching this video does actually know how to get that touchpad working on Fortnite PC, do be sure to let me know, but as for console players, you should be fine using the touchpad. And yeah, that is going to be it for this video, going over why so many people were switching to this controller. After making this video, I definitely see why people are. It is a great controller and has some amazing software to customize. If you did make it all the way to the end of the video, drop a controller emoji in the comments so I know you did. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.